Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. It is your boy, Niner Beto, with another Niner Sickness podcast. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. We're going to talk 49er football. We're just going to have some fun and spend a little bit of time together on this Sunday evening. Tomorrow, the Pats come on. The Pats come on tomorrow. So exciting. Will Bosa be part of practice tomorrow? Or we'll be waiting a little bit longer for Mr. Bosa? Hopefully, he is signed and delivered. We're going to talk all about that right after this. All right, we are live, all the way live. I got my brother from another mother, Mr. Bryant. How you doing, sir? Give me a second, guys, real quick. Charge. Give me oh, it is on there, huh? Okay. Give me a second. All right, we got Roberto Hasten in the house. What's up, Roberto? All right, let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's see here. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. Let me make it a little bit more bigger. I don't know why it's not getting bigger. All right, there we go. Much better. David McNiner in the house. What's up, David? How you doing, sir? How you doing, my friend? We got the Queen, royalty, in the house. We got Mama, Dawn, and we have Ariel and Jayla. Ariel and Jayla, if you're watching, hello. Niner Sickness Podcast says hello and good evening. Wow. I guess sometimes people just won't leave you alone. It's all good. I'll keep banding profile after profile. I guess some people just don't learn. They just can't leave. I don't know about it. I don't know about you guys, but let me just clear the air a little bit. Sometimes you meet friends. Sometimes you have friends for a lifetime. Sometimes you have friends for a season, but sometimes you have differences. Sometimes you don't agree with things. Sometimes you don't, you might not see things eye to eye anymore. And sometimes we move on, right? We move on from people. We stop talking to certain people. We move on, and that's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. But there should never be any animosity between the people. It should just like I go right, you go left. We all go our own way and grow up. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Please don't forget to smash that like button and wipe your feet. Smash that like button and wipe my feet. I also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. We got John in the house. So it is what it is. We got Daniel Barry Sports in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Don says, I didn't see anything. I definitely keep my eyes out for the boneheads. Yeah, you wouldn't have saw this. This is somebody just trying to attack me personally. Somebody's going after me personally. So no worries, Don. But thank you for keeping an eye out on the chat. Look who it is. My brother from a different mother. My boy, Christopher Spires. Chris for short. I met this guy about 6 years ago, I would say, on the internet. He's a huge Saints fan. I know, boo. But he's a huge Saints fan, loves his Saints, but a great guy, man. Great guy, a man of God, loves God. And we have kept in touch throughout the years through the internet. And he's a proud uncle. He's a proud uncle of a beautiful girl, beautiful little girl. And I am so happy for him. And maybe one of these days we'll win him over to the Niners. But Christopher, thank you for being here, brother. Truly, truly appreciate you. Let's see here. Today has been a great day. Giants won, yes. They got me worried there for a minute, Don. They got me worried for a minute when the Red Sox went up a run when it was 3-2. I was kind of like, oh, damn. And then we tied it up. And then what a bonehead play by one of our, I forgot who it was, where the catcher just tagged him and he was out. But at the end of the day, we won. And that's all that matters. Don't be hating. Nah, brother. Listen, if I root for the Saints, I'll root them for you, my friend. If I ever root for the Saints, I won't. But if I ever root for the Saints, I would do it for this guy right here. I have a lot of love and respect for Chris Spires. Christopher Spires. I'm used to Christopher. I'm sorry. I've never seen your name short like that. But I like this guy. So, the fourth day of camp took place. Oh, real quick, Christopher. Oops, wrong one. There's a little thing for you right here. It's all about the Niners and F the rest. That's a little love for your team there. I just want to acknowledge another individual, man. David McNiner is one hell of a guy. This guy's been following me for a long time. He's starting to do his own channel. He does a lot of podcasts with my boy Bryant. Him and Bryant have such a great chemistry. They both have such a great chemistry. They work so well together. And I'm truly proud of David McNiner and Bryant Hope for doing what they do. You guys are awesome, man. Appreciate you guys. And I appreciate your friendship. Also, if you guys are not aware, tonight's going to be a little bit of freestyle, okay? Freestyle. No topics. We're just going to talk. We're just going to hang out with one another. A little bit of freestyle. Bryant Cope's wife, Toni, Toni, Cope. Check out her YouTube channel. It's under her name. Her and a few women get together. I believe they're going to start getting together on Saturdays. I'm not sure about that yet, so I'll confirm. Maybe if Brian is still in the chat, he can confirm it. But they have a channel, a show that they do or podcast. They call it the Ladies of the Empire. The Ladies of the Empire. Great show. If you want to hear the perspective of the Niners from a women side, that is a great show to watch. They're very informative. They know their stuff. They are entertaining, and they are fun to watch. So make sure to support Tony Cope's channel. It's under her name, ToniCulp. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and give the Ladies of the Empire some love and support. Great gals. So, training camp took place today, day 4, and no Brock Purdy. Am I blurry? Sorry. No Brock Purdy today. So, Trey Lance took the major snaps with the ones, rotated with Sam Darnold, and then Brandon Allen is the one that took most, if not all, the third quarterback reps today. And I like to listen to a lot of different content creators who cover the Niners, who has credentials and actually goes and watches the Niners. Every content creator, regardless if it's just the Niners or any other team, a lot of content creators, they like to add their own flavor. And nothing wrong with it. They like to add their own flavor. They have their favorites. So if a favorite player they like, it does bad, they won't report the bad. But if he does a little bit good, they'll report the good. Or if they don't like a player and the player does a little bit of bad, they'll make sure they emphasize the bad and not give acknowledgement for the good. And that's their prerogative. If that's what they like to do, more power to them. That's the beautiful thing of having more than one content creator covering the Niners, so that you can get and go follow the one you feel more comfortable listening to. Now, there are a few that I like to listen to. In my opinion, they're not biased. They don't tell you what they want you to know. They tell you what you need to hear. In other words, they report exactly what takes place with the Niners. They don't have no favorite players. They'll report exactly what they see. They'll report the truth. Not that the other ones don't report the truth. Let me back that up a little bit. The other reporters report the truth as well, but they kind of sugarcoat certain things and other things they don't. So I like to hear reporters like Jack Hammer. I want to give a shout out to Jack Hammer. A shout out to David Lombardi. A shout out to Larry Kruger. I like to listen to them. They tell you what they see. They don't care about clicks. They don't care whether they have a huge following or not. Whatever they see, they tell us. So I like to listen to people like that. Why? Because I want to know the truth. I'm not there at camp. I'm not there. So I want to know what's really going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of people may call that ass kissing to the organization. I just think that these particular content creators, they report what they see. And now, again, I am not putting anybody else down. All content creators with or without credentials are amazing human beings. Amazing. They all have their own style of how to report. And I respect them all. It doesn't mean that I will watch every single one of them. It doesn't mean that I will follow a few of them, but I respect everybody. But there's certain people like Larry Krueger, David Lombardi, Jack Hammer that I like to listen to. Matt Miyoko, John Chaplin, Wayne Breezy are a few that I like to listen to because I just like to get the perspective about what they saw. And so hopefully you guys are following a few content creators that you feel comfortable listening and learning about the Niners. They may have credentials. They may go and cover the team so that you kind of know, like, for example, there's no story here. There's no Pats. The Pats do not come on until tomorrow. The Pats come on tomorrow, so you can't really judge a person without the Pats. But they have been reporting that Sam Darnold has been looking better than Trey Lance. That Trey Lance have thrown some bad throws. It doesn't mean that Trey Lance is no good. It doesn't mean that Trey Lance is garbage. It doesn't mean that. It just means that Sam Darnold is performing a little bit better than Trey. But the problem with that is, if you are a complete 100% Trey supporter, and there's nothing wrong with liking a player, but if you are a supporter of Trey Lance, all of a sudden, people take offense. They take offense to what is being said, and they misinterpret things, or they hear what they want to hear, not as what actually is being said. So, example, Larry Krueger said that he felt that Trey Lance looked a little bit down in the interview he gave yesterday or Friday. He looked a little discouraged. He missed two players, Jordan Mason, I believe, and Willis. Open players. There was nobody in his face. He just straight up missed those players. And this is Larry just speaking what he saw, how he feels. But there are people that will get offended by that. There are people that will attack Larry. Well, Larry doesn't know what he's talking about. Larry is just garbage. Larry this, Larry. Why? Just because you don't agree with what Larry has to say, automatically he's garbage, or he doesn't know what he's doing. He's been covering the Niners and been around football for years. It's okay not to agree with someone. It's okay not to agree with Larry. Or if you don't want to agree with David Lombardi, or if you don't agree with Grant Cohn, if you don't agree, whoever it is you don't agree with, that's okay. But just because we don't agree with them, it doesn't make them like they don't know what they're talking about. And so I just want to give some respect to all the content creators, those that have credentials and those like me that don't. We try to entertain you. We try to provide you with information. And sometimes you're going to agree with what we have to say. Sometimes you won't. If I talk about Brock Purdy and if you like Brock Purdy, you'll tend to kind of like what I say. But if I talk negative about Trey, not that I don't like him, but for what I've been hearing, suddenly I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm talking about a player that you covet. Why can't we just agree to disagree? Why can't we just say, okay, Niner Beto, I don't agree on your thought process of Trey. I'm just using this as an example. What you said about Trey, I don't agree with you. That's your thoughts. That's your point of view. Fine. I respect what you said. I don't agree with it. And that's fine. But why do people have to get offensive? Why do people have to fight, argue with one another on Twitter, call each other names, wanting to find someone and start fights over something that is really stupid? Let me read this comment because I want to make sure I'm reading it carefully. Niner Beto, the Niners Traders game is going to be hard for me to watch. Not only is it my husband's dumb team, but my nephew who just passed away that I told you about is a diehard Raider fan. Now, normally I would agree with you about the Traders, but out of respect for your nephew, I'm going to go ahead and say Raiders and acknowledge the team for what their name is. And once again, my condolences to your husband and the family that is going through this hard time. Whenever you lose someone, it's never easy. God knows I have lost a lot of my family, so I know how it feels to lose someone, from a father, mother, from parent to siblings to children. I have experienced it all. So it's never a good thing. So my prayers, my love is headed to your husband and the family and yourself, Don. And your husband is blessed to have you by his side as his wife. I appreciate you, Don, for your faithfulness. My boy Spire says, who do you think will win the following NFC divisions? North, South, East, and West. Great question.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Great question there, Senor Spires. Now, the North, we'll start with the North. You have the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions, and the Chicago Bears. Now, the two teams that have normally been competitive in that division has been the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings. Now, this will be the first year without Aaron Rodgers. This will be the first year without Aaron Rodgers. We all know that he has moved on. He is with the Jets. This team now belongs to one Jordan Love. Jordan Love is the new quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. They have a great defense, an okay offense. Can Jordan Love win games? We shall see. Then you have the Vikings. Kirk Cousins. I'm trying to think of that receiver, number 18. He's pretty damn good. But they lost a lot of pieces on defense. They lost They lost Dalvin Cook because they couldn't afford to pay him. They did get some extra help here and there. But we all know that Kirk Cousins, you don't know what you're getting with him. He's such an up and down guy. Regular season, he plays well. Games that mean something, games that we like to call under the lights, a Thursday night football game, a Sunday night, Monday night. Those games, he seems to struggle. Justin Jefferson, thank you, Dion. Christopher was kind of right. He's like Jordan Jefferson, not Jordan, Justin. Look who it is. How you doing, Rich? Welcome to the channel, my friend. We got Eric as well. How you doing, Eric? So I'm not going to break down every team in depth because I will be here all night. But to answer my boy Spire's question is, for the North, I'm giving it to the Detroit Lions. Oh, crap. Did I just say the Lions?
Did I just say the Lions? Oh my God. I cannot believe it. Did I just say the Lions are going to win the North? Son of a biscuit. But damn, the Lions looked pretty good last season. They won 8 of their last games. Ooh-wee.
It won't be the Green Bay Packers. It won't be the Vikings. It will be the Lions.
So I take the Lions winning the North. Moving on to the South. Who do we have in the South? NFC South. We have the Panthers, the Buccaneers, the Saints, and the Falcons. Who is going to win the South? Tampa, no more Tom Brady, retired. The Saints, they lost some pieces, but their defense is still pretty solid, and they did get a upgrade from Andy Dalton or Mr. Crablegs. They went ahead and brought in free agent Derek Carr. Now, I'm not a big fan of Derek Carr, but I think based on what they had there, and either Andy Dalton at the end of his career or Mr. Crablegs, I think that Derek Carr might help out the Saints. Now, the Panthers, they have the number 1 draft pick out of Alabama, but he is a rookie quarterback. How good would he be his first year? And then you got Atlanta that also is dealing with a quarterback situation. They started, I forgot the name of the quarterback they started last year, but he's kind of like, eh. And then the tight end that they drafted, Pitts, hasn't really planned out for them. So who's going to win the South? I have to say the Saints. I got to say the Saints will win the NFC South. All right. Moving to the NFC East. We got the Cowboys. We got the Commanders with a new owner, by the way. We got the Eagles. Fly, stupid bird, fly. Eagles. No, I actually love the Eagles. The bird, not the team, the actual bird. I have a lot of admiration for the Eagles, what they stand for. The actual bird, though. Desmond Ritter. That's right, Desmond Ritter. He's such a so-and-so guy. I don't know about him. So we got the East. Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles, and Giants. Now the Giants, Barkley signed a 1-year tender. Daniel Jones seems to be playing better under this head coach. Their defense is pretty solid. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Giants. I think a lot of people are saying, as from a Niners standpoint, people are saying that they're afraid of losing to the Steelers opening week. And I think some people are overlooking the Giants. I'm not saying we're going to lose to the Giants, but I think a lot of people are overlooking the Giants. What's up, my brother? Christian McCarver. That's another friend of mine. Christian Carver is in the house. What's up, Christian? Long time no see. How you doing, sir? Good and glad to see you here. Appreciate you, my friend. We got Crazy Guy in the house. What's up, Crazy Guy? How you doing, sir? So, one more. I actually hit that by accident. I meant to hit this button to get rid of the comment. So, who wins the East? I think the Cowboys has a great defense. Number 11 looks pretty damn good over there. But Dak Prescott, I don't know. Dak Prescott is so inconsistent. What version of Dak Prescott are the Cowboys getting? The Commanders, they have a lot of pieces, but they still have a few pieces to go. They're not settled at quarterback yet. They did get a new owner. And listen, real quick. I had to applaud that we no longer have to deal with Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder is gone. Let me see if I find where is that the one that I'm looking for. Hold on. Here we go. This is Daniel Snyder.
Loser.
He is a what? What is Daniel Snyder?
Loser.
A loser. That's what he is. I'm so glad he's out of the league. I'm so glad he sold the team. Congrats to all the Commanders fan base. They deserve a better owner, and they're saying that they might change the name back to the Redskins. We'll have to wait and see if they do that. So, who wins the East? The Eagles made it to the Super Bowl last year, but they lost both of their coordinators. They lost their offensive coordinator and they lost their defensive coordinator. And they lost a few pieces on defense. Now, they lost Hargrave to us, to the Niners. We drafted Hargrave. We took him from the Eagles. Their top D tackle. Now they drafted a great kid with potential from Georgia. That's if he can stay out of trouble off the field. But we know what we're getting from Hargrave. The Eagles don't know what they're getting from this young kid. Is this young kid going to be the next Nick Bosa in the middle? Or is he going to be the next Solomon Thomas? We don't know. So, but I'm going to give the East to the Giants. Now, if I was betting, I would say the Cowboys. If I was a betting man, I would say the Cowboys. But because I can't stand the Cowboys, who am I kidding? I hate the Cowboys. I'm picking the Giants to win the East. Now, to the West. I saved the best for last. We got the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Lambs, the Seattle Sea Chickens, and no quarterback in the house Cardinals or the plucked feather Cardinals. What's up, David Avila? How you doing, sir? So for the NFC West, I'm not going to spend that much time. The Niners got better. They already had a number one defense. They added. The weakest spot of the defense was their interior pressure and the secondary. And they brought in Hargrave. They brought in Isaiah Oliver to be that nickel corner, if you will. I think Lenore is really going to step up and take his game further and be a better player. So the secondary got better. Our D-line got better. We heard the great news that Brock Purdy is ready to go. He's already practiced. The Niners are definitely winning the West. So recall. Niners, Giants, Lions, and Saints. Oh my. Those are my division predictions. I've been hearing reports that the new owner of the Commander is open to changing the team's name again and will listen to fans for suggestions. Washington fans want the Redskins name back. Yeah, the community of the Native American, they have no issues with the name Redskins. Now, what I've been hearing in the tea leaves is that the NFL put the pressure on Daniel Snyder to change the name of the team because why? They wanted Snyder's out of football. They wanted him out of the NFL. And it kind of backfired. They changed the name. Snyder still stayed, and they were stuck with him. But they finally got rid of Snyder. The new owner can easily rename them the Redskins and take them to a higher level. The girl said hello. They don't go back to school until August 16th. Summertime. Summertime. I have a sophomore football practice tomorrow. Not really practice, but rather conditioning and exercise. What position do you play, crazy guy? Are you an offensive player or defense, or do you play both? Because I know in little league or high school or junior, they don't really play in junior high. So high school, you can play two ways. So do you play just defense, just offense, or both? Let me know. So the Niners practiced today. For what I've been hearing for a lot of the reporters today is that Sam Darnold has the edge over Trey Lance. Now, it sucks because I love Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance. I don't say love, but I like Trey Lance. I wanted Trey Lance to be drafted to the Niners. I love the potential that he had. But he hasn't worked out, at least not yet. Is he a bust? No. Is he going to be terrible? I don't know. And I know a lot of fans are getting very frustrated. They're frustrated because they feel that the Niners gave up 3 number ones, which really was 2, and they switched one, and a 3rd round to move up and get Trey Lance. And because they gave up so much capital, they feel like the Niners should be obligated to have Trey compete for the starting job because of what they give up for him. But what they don't realize is Brock Purdy earned the starting job. Or at the very least, he earned the opportunity to be the leader of the clubhouse. What Brock Purdy was able to do last year was remarkable. I think a lot of Niner fans are so stuck on the high draft pick of Trey Lance. We took him. He's a taller quarterback. He has a bigger arm. And we're all stuck on that we don't see what's right in front of us. If Trey Lance was not part of this team at all, we didn't get to know Trey Lance as much as we know him now, every Niner fan would have been fired up for what they saw Brock Purdy do. But because we have Trey Lance being drafted with a 3rd overall pick, and we moved up to get him, people are blinded, or they choose to be blinded from what Brock Purdy has done. It's hard to play good, even if you were a 1st-round pick. Trevor Lawrence struggled his first year. Peyton Manning struggled his first year. Josh Allen struggled 2 years. So many 1st-round quarterbacks have struggled learning the offense, taking command of the huddle, getting all that situated. It's a lot. It's a lot to process. So it takes them about a year to kind of get everything to slow down. And these are guys that are taken in the 1st round. Brock Purdy, because of the height, the lack of being tall, and supposedly not having that cannon of an arm, he was overlooked by so many teams, including the Niners. And he wasn't taken until the 7th round. And to make things worse, he was taken in the 7th round with the very last pick. He was this close from being undrafted. He was taken in the 7th round as the Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the 7th round. 7th round picks don't even make the roster. It is so hard for a 7th round pick to make the roster. It is. And then, particularly when let's go back to last year. We had Jimmy Garoppolo. We had Trey Lance that we were paying our attention to. Then we brought in Sudfeld. I think that's his name. We gave him $2 million in guarantees. $2 million in guarantees to be that 3rd quarterback or backup at the very least. Now you have Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance that nobody's really messing with them. But then you have Brock Purdy competing with the $2 million man. Brock Purdy, a 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, competing with the $2 million man in guarantees. And Brock Purdy did so well that the Niners felt that if they cut him, he wouldn't get by all the other 31 teams, and they could be a chance that they don't bring him back to the practice squad. And the Niners decided, we don't want to take a chance. We don't want to take the chance that if we cut Brock Purdy, that he doesn't make it to the practice squad. So what do? They cut the $2 million man in guarantees. They already gave him $2 million, and they cut him to keep Brock Purdy on the 53-man roster. That right there shows that this kid has something special. None of us really knew what it was. But he's already oozing of something special. Fast forward. He's on the team. Trey Lance is the starter. We gave up 3 number ones and a third. Trey Lance this team belongs to him. It's his team. He's the future. Brock Purdy is the 7th round pick. Mr. Irrelevant. The last pick of the draft. He is way down here. Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, way down here. Jimmy G was the backup, right? Excuse me. To the point where, unfortunately for Trey Lance, getting hurt and being told he will miss the rest of the season, it really sucked for Trey. So here comes Jimmy G. We already know what we have in Jimmy. Now, Trey Lance's job was not threatened because of the injury. They knew that even if Jimmy G played well, even if we won games, which we did, largely because of the addition of Christian McCaffrey, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Jimmy won a lot of games, and then we were going to face the Miami Dolphins all week long. If you don't remember, all week long, we were talking about the Miami Dolphins game. On Twitter, Niner fans were engaging with Dolphin fans. It was the master against the protege. It was the master against the student, and Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniels, Tua versus Jimmy, our defense versus their defense. Who was going to win that game? So much hype for this game. What's up, Reedy? How you doing, sir? So much hype for this game, right? So much hype. Who's going to win? The Niners better win. Do it for Shanahan. The master cannot lose to the student, right? And then a few plays later, boom, just like that. Just like a fart in the wind. Jimmy gets hurt. Oh, crap. We only had 3 points on the board because they kicked a field goal when he got hurt. So there was only 3 points on the board and a lot of time left on the clock. Now what? All this hype all week long, talking shit among the Dolphin fans, the Niner fans, back and forth on Twitter Zone and arguing who's the better team, blah, blah, blah. And just like that, Jimmy G gets hurt. So predictable when it comes to Jimmy G. He gets hurt. And our life just gets sniffed out of our bodies. When Trey Lance got hurt, I don't know about you. I didn't like it. Matter of fact, I hated Trey Lance getting hurt. But I understood we had Jimmy. Whether people like him or not, that is your prerogative. But we had Jimmy. We knew what Jimmy can do. I felt, I don't like this. I hated that Trey got hurt. But I know we can win games with Jimmy. How far we can go, I don't know. But I know we can win games with Jimmy. But when Jimmy got hurt, and he was taken out with a cart, now we were in a situation of uncharted waters. We were on uncharted waters. Who in the heck is Brock Purdy? You're putting in the 7th round pick. The last pick of the 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant. That's who you're going to put in to face a team that we were so hyped about all week long, where Kyle was facing his student and Mike McDaniels, and we're starting our 3rd quarterback. We're done. Oh, shit. The only thing I said was, I hope we don't get embarrassed. Most likely, we're going to lose. And if you thought we were going to win with Brock Purdy before Brock Purdy showed us what he can do, stop lying. Stop lying. At least I'm not going to lie. When we lost Jimmy, not knowing so much about Brock Purdy, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I know we're going to lose. But can we not lose by all these points? I just did not want to get embarrassed by Miami. I could handle the loss. I didn't like the idea of losing, but I can handle the loss. I can handle the loss. I just did not want to get burnt out. I don't want to get burnt out. And what happened? What happened? Brock Purdy comes in. He comes in and dominates. Plays like an old pro. He comes in and really plays well. Hold on, guys. Plays well. He takes control of the huddle. He takes control of the huddle. He makes his reads. He's poised, calm, and collective. The game is not too big for him. He doesn't look like a rookie. Forget about where he was drafted. 7th round, last pick of the 7th round, or 1st round. He's a rookie. He came in and won the game. He beat the Dolphins. And he never looked back. Then we went on and beat the Buccaneers, the Seahawks in Seattle when he had a bleak injury. He was playing in pain. We went to a hostile environment like Seattle, and he beat Seattle. Now, the defense and everyone else partake on that, but he didn't lose that game. In fact, he did not lose any of the games he started in the regular season. And then we get to the postseason. And he wins his 2 postseason games. Do you know that Dak Prescott, who gets paid a lot of money to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys Americans team. Do you know that he's tied with Brock in how many games he has won in the postseason? Dak Prescott, top 5 quarterback or top 10, has two playoff games under his belt that he's won. Brock Purdy, first year, 7th round pick, rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, also has 2 playoff victories. Good night, Dawn. She's probably already gone by the time I read that comment. I've heard Brandon Allen hasn't been great in camp, but it sure beats not having Josh Johnson anymore. And Josh Johnson is Baltimore's problem now. My goodness. Anybody but Josh Johnson. For sure. Thank you very much. Again, brother, for the prayers. Absolutely, Don. I hope us Niner fans can go a year without hurt quarterbacks being out for the season. Amen to that. Dak will Dak. All I know is this, guys. Whether you love Trey Lance, whether you love Brock Purdy or whoever, let's face it. What Brock Purdy was able to do was remarkable. Can he sustain it? I don't know. Could he sustain it? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to see what Brock can do. Now, I am not wishing anything on Trey Lance. I love Trey Lance. I want Trey Lance to be successful. Is life unfair? Yes. Anybody that has lived over 10 years, or let's say 15, knows that life isn't fair. And unfortunately for Trey Lance, life hasn't been fair in the sense of football. But you can't take away, or you shouldn't take away from what Brock Purdy can do for this team. And the fact that he has played so well, he deserves to be number one. And I know a lot of people say, well, Brock Purdy should be competing with Trey Lance. And the reality is, Brock Purdy has shown all of us, if you have seen it with your open eyes and you're not biased, Brock Purdy has shown that he can win games under Kyle Shanahan's system. I'm not saying that Trey cannot. I'm not saying that we can't win games with Trey. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is we have won enough games with Brock and 2 playoff games for me to want to go back to anyone else other than Brock. I wish Brock would have never gotten hurt. I wish Trey would have never gotten hurt in 2022. And maybe we would have found out through the whole year of 2022 where Trey stood. Would he be a good quarterback or not such a good quarterback? But at least we would have had a lot of games under his belt to make the right decision with him. Trey may have the most potential in all these quarterbacks. He may have the higher ceiling from all these quarterbacks. But he has the less experience from all these quarterbacks. Brock Purdy played all 4 years in college. Trey only played 1 year. Brock has seen a lot of shit thrown his way in college. Trey has not. Does it mean that Trey won't be successful? No. Does it mean that Trey will never become a good quarterback? No. That doesn't mean it. Just means that, unfortunately, because of the circumstances, the way it played out, Brock did so good last year that he's going to be the opportunity to run the team unless Brock gets hurt in the regular season, and knock on wood, he doesn't. Or, well, I would say that's the only way. Then Trey can come in and showcase what he can do. Or if if we're winning by 25 points starting the fourth quarter, or we have enough margin lead, and this is what I expect, honestly, and I'm going to shut it down. The Niners defense is going to be so damn good that we're going to hold a lot of opposing offenses to a minimal of points. And with Brock and Debo and Brandon Ayuk and Kittle and CMC, we're going to put up points. So if the Niners are beating the opponent team by a lot of points, then you may see Brock Purdy step down and allow Trey to come in and play so that Brock won't get hurt. And maybe then Trey can showcase what he can do. David McNiner says, I ain't worried about the quarterback. The bigger problem is keeping our QBs healthy. Since Kyle took over in 2017, we had one season with a healthy quarterback in 2019. And this is why the idea that Trey Lance will be traded, it's absurd. That comment right there by David McNiner shows me, because we have gone through so many quarterbacks, because we went through all our quarterbacks in the NFC Championship game, to the point that we had to start our running back as the emergency quarterback. It was between CMC and Juice. The more quarterbacks we have, the better. Now, does that mean that Brandon Allen will be on the roster? Probably not. So let's just, for a moment, whether you like it, the lineup or not, that's not the point. But for the moment, imagine going into the season, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, and Trey Lance. Or for those that really love Trey, so that you won't get mad at me, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold. 3 outstanding quarterbacks. The type of defense we have, the type of roster, we are in win now roster. The more quarterbacks that are able to win games, the better. I'm not to say that we won't lose all of them again. And hopefully that what happened last year, it's a 1-year thing. But if we start with Brock, and at whatever point we have to move on to Trey, and if whatever point we have to move on to Sam Darnold, at least we can reassure that no matter which quarterback is running the ship, the defense, the running game, the receivers, Kyle Shanahan's game planning will win games no matter what quarterback is back there. You just got to have a healthy one to be able to distribute the ball amongst others, right? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me sure I'm not missing something here. So, I just want to win games, guys. If Brock Purdy's the starter, if Trey's the starter, if Sam Darnold, I don't care. As long as we have healthy quarterbacks, we got to get out of that notion of Sam Darnold was terrible. Sam Darnold sucks. Sam Darnold is a turnover machine. Sam Darnold this, Sam Darnold that. That's history. What can Sam Darnold be under Kyle Shanahan? What can he do with the weapons around him? He went to a bad organization, which is the Jets. Then he went over to the Carolina Panthers. They weren't any better. He finally has gone to a team, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a Niner fan, but he's finally gone to a team with very good weapons and a great play caller in Kyle. Everybody's so strong in hating Sam Darnold. He's going to suck. He's from USC, blah, blah, blah. What if this kid snaps and starts playing like a freaking pro? What if? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he becomes a very good player. Sam Darnold, maybe he continues to suck like he has been. But don't you want to see him succeed? Especially if he's doing it with your team. Don't you want to see Sam Darnold succeed in the red and gold? I can care less if he was in another team. But he's in San Francisco. The better that Sam Darnold does, if he is indeed the starter, that means the better that we're playing football. Can we get out of our own hate for certain players or our own way of thinking that it is unimaginable to think that Sam Darnold can be a backup to Brock Purdy? It is unmanageable. I cannot believe that they're going to put Sam Darnold over Trey Lance, and Trey Lance was a draft pick, a high draft pick. So was Sam Darnold. Matter of fact, Trey and Sam Darnold were picked third overall, both of them. Hello, Tony. Actually, this one's for you. Another royalty in the house. We got royalty in the house. Tony Cope. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. I love the way you support your husband. I love Brian and Tony. You guys are amazing. Great examples. Your husband is a wonderful man. I have so much respect for Brian. It's not even funny. Whether Brian knows or not, he has taught me some things about marriage. And I've probably been married longer than you guys. Me and my wife have been married for 30 years, going past 30 years. But I still have learned from Brian how to respect your spouse. I had to go to my wife and apologize for talking about this girl, talking about that girl on social media. I tried to get Brian to talk about this girl and that girl, and he wouldn't do it. He's like, the only beautiful woman in my life is my wife. I have so damn, I might have made fun of Brian, unfortunately, stupid me back then. But in the back of my head, I'm like, wow. I can learn from this man. He's younger than me. He's probably been married way shorter than me, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I'm older than him. It doesn't matter that I've been married longer. What matters is what I'm putting out and what Brian was putting out. And Brian said some things, whether he knew what he was saying at the time or not, it hit me like a ton of bricks to the point where I had to make some adjustments in my marriage. Not that my marriage was bad at all, but I was able to make it better. And I'm thankful for Brian. And I'm not embarrassed to give someone acknowledgement in public, particularly when they have affected me in a positive way. So Brian, Cope, thank you so much for being my friend. Thank you so much for being that example. I truly appreciate you. And you and your lovely wife are great examples, wonderful parents. And I love the idea that you have your podcast. She has her podcast. You both love the Niners. That is amazing. You are very welcome, Tony. You're welcome. And I'm not saying this to kiss nobody's butt. I'm not saying this to look good or, I'm saying this because I'm speaking from the heart. I told this to, and I don't care if I say it publicly. I told this to Brian. I judged Brian too quick when I met him. He's kind of the nerdy guy, and I'm like, this guy, what is he about? But as I got to know him, Brian's one hell of a friend, one hell of a guy. So I appreciate you, my friend. All right, let me get back to football and close it down because I don't want people to yell at me. This is not a counseling session. This is a football. But I wanted to take a moment to appreciate my friend Brian publicly. Daniel Cantu is in the house. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, sir? Welcome. So, I'm going to give you back your Sunday. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being part of the Niner Sickness podcast. Listen, if I have ever offended anybody in any shape, way, or form, please accept my forgiveness. Please accept my apologies for offending anybody, whether it was delivered or not. Sometimes we have to move on. Sometimes, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you remain friends with that individual. Me and my brother, we don't have a good relationship. We don't, unfortunately. But I love him, I respect him, and I've forgiven him, but I don't socialize with him. But it doesn't mean I wish him the worst. I wish him the best. Same thing with friends. Sometimes you move on. Sometimes you just can't get along. I have no ill feelings to anybody, but sometimes you just got to move on. And I got to think about myself. So with that said, you guys are amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being part of the Niner Sickness podcast. I appreciate you guys very, very much. You guys are amazing. Until the next podcast, I am your boy, Niner Sickness. Peace. Have a wonderful night. And remember, be good to one another. And be kind. You never know what your kindness can do to someone. Opening the door for someone can go a long way. Allowing someone to get in front of you in traffic can go a long way. Let's spread positive things in such a negative world. Good night. God bless, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.